Our next contestant, Veronica Bayani. When everything burns. When everything burns, Veronica Bayani.
This is not COVID. This is what poverty feels like. Helpless, trapped, limited. Well, even if you're poor, you find ways. Mama is a champion in pinching pennies. Papa is a millionaire in his dreams. One day, while waiting for Mama to cook the food, Papa and the 8-year-old Veronica ran around and played. All of a sudden, Papa, I can't breathe! My parents rushed me to the nearest hospital, and the doctors told them, Ma'am, sir, your daughter has an asthma attack. We can treat her, but you need to pay the down payment first. Papa's face froze. Well, you see, I got my pride from Papa. He's the one who helps others instead of being helped. Yet, hello? Hello, Joey. Joey, I'm sorry, but can I borrow 8,000 for my daughter's hospital bill, Joey, please? I'm sorry, Joey, what did you say again? McDonald's delivery? Sorry. It was not enough, but don't worry. Mama always finds a way. She found a way. She sold her wedding ring to save me. When everything burns, rise from the ashes. Gasping for breath, I decided, never again will I let poverty hurt my parents anymore. So at 8 years old, I decided to become a millionaire. And I sold candies to my friends. And to my friends' friends, and to the cousins of my friends' friends, and doesn't matter. What's important is that if I kept on doing that, then I'll be a millionaire in 3,928 days. But as I looked at the current money that I have, it's not enough to buy Mama a new wedding ring. I need to try again. When everything burns, rise from the ashes. 14 years old, and when everyone else was busy flirting, I flirted to get new customers for my cell phone reloading business. Come one, come all. Top up now, pay later. It was successful, and after a few months, I was able to save 2,000. I went to my parents, Ma, Pa, we now have 2,000. I can now enroll at the Harvard of the Philippines. Araneo. My parents looked at each other, and Papa said, we can't afford it. I saw my chances burn up in flames, but Mama added, we can only afford the public school, the University of the Philippines. And yes, this was my chance. When everything burns, rise from the ashes. It was the day of the entrance exam, and I was sitting at home getting ready to leave when Papa came in and said, the jeepney won't start. Dun 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 dun. It was like that moment when you're called for a table topics. Why does life deprive me of even this one chance of improving myself? And you know what? I quit. Mama heard that, and she told me, I know that it's hard, but remember, when everything burns, rise from the ashes. With barely 50 pesos in my pocket and with a backpack full of hopes and dreams, I decided I will rise for myself, for my family. Months after the results were released, did I pass the entrance exam? Dun 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 dun. I looked for my names on the list of passers. And yes, I did. And with that same determination, I worked hard in college and at every other exam that life threw at me. And today, I am a chemical engineer. Today, I am working for one of the biggest companies in the Philippines. And now, we have savings. Thank you. We don't have to borrow money anymore. Thank you for the new wedding ring. And this house, this is going to be our future rental real estate business. Have you ever felt helpless because of a job that you don't like? Trapped because of a relationship that isn't working anymore? Limited because of your circumstances? A phoenix is reborn through trials and flames. And remember, when everything burns, together we'll rise from the ashes. Toastmaster.
Our next contestant, Ryan Encabo. 2 lines. 2 lines. Ryan Encabo.
It was my 35th birthday. Oh, and my beautiful wife showed me an amazing gift. It was a white stick with 2 lines. I got my wish. It was the most beautiful 2 lines I ever saw. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters. Finally, I'm going to be a DTM, Daddy Toastmaster. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, do you have a dream you're wishing to come true? My wife started planning. Prepared the baby room, the baby clothes, the baby shower, the baby names. How about me? I get to change the diapers. I started dreaming. He will join Toastmasters and become a world champion. But, loves, I'm bleeding. I brought her to the hospital. There, the specialist said that my wife had a condition. It meant that her body was rejecting the baby. We needed series of treatments right away. $2,000 monthly IV infusion? I never knew having children will be this expensive. It was so painful for the pocket. But it was nothing compared to the pain my wife felt. Series of pricks and needle punctures. But the whole condition pierced her heart even more. In my eyes, my wife is a Wonder Woman. So strong, I fell in love with her even more. Yet one day, she said, "Loves, I'm bleeding again." That day, we lost our baby. My poor wife, devastated. I longed to hold our baby, my birthday gift. Few months passed. There was hope again when my wife showed me a white stick with 2 lines. Yes! A few weeks later, ultrasound showed that the heartbeat of the baby stopped. We felt our whole world stopped. I felt so helpless, useless, a doctor but unable to save my babies. Few years passed, I immersed myself in business and career. Public speaking and mentoring became my therapy. My mentees became my children. And one day my wife showed me a white stick with suddenly the fear, the memories of losing the baby came rushing back. Loves, what if we lose our baby again? Baby, baby, this is Daddy. We're so excited to see you. Remember, you are a champion. You're mommy and daddy's champion. Loves, let's go through the series together. 6 weeks, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our baby reached 35 weeks. I asked the doctor, Doc, when can we relax? We've been doing ultrasounds weekly. Once the baby is out. That didn't help at all. But then there was a problem. My wife and baby were in danger. Emergency cesarean section had to be done. She was brought to the operating room. Outside, I was pacing, my heart racing, my hands shaking. My mother was the first to arrive. She sat me down, looked at me in the eyes and said, son, when you get to hold your baby, going through the series will be worth it. Suddenly, the fear turned into faith. Dun, 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 dun. Dr. Ryan to the operating room. Dr. Ryan to the operating room. Doc, how's my wife? How's my baby? And I won't forget what the OB said. Dr. Ryan, your baby, I'm sorry. She's already in the nursery and your wife is safe. My champion baby! You're so cute! You got it from me. Looking at my Wonder Woman wife and my champion baby, truly, it was all worth it. Contest share, fellow Toastmasters. Lines. Lines are distances between 2 points. Point of fear to point of faith. Point of struggle into point of strength. Point of misery, point of miracle. These lines are a series of challenges that test our commitment to our dreams. Sometimes they would overwhelm us, leave us discouraged and devastated. But if you truly believe that your dream is worthwhile, persist and persevere, even if it means paying a great price, even if it means getting no guarantees, even if it means getting your heart broken over and over again. Because once your dream turns into reality, all the sacrifices will be worth it. Contest share.
Ola. Table for one. Table for one. Jude, Edmon, Anthony, Ola.
Have you ever seen someone eating alone in a restaurant? What do you think when you see someone like that? Sad, lonely, pitiful? For me, I would hum a small tune in my head. Lonely table just for one. in a bright and crowded room. And yes, be pitiful for that person. Not as pitiful as my singing though, even thinking, oh, nobody loves him or she does not have any friends. Thoughts like that would run through my head. But last December 23, I was in that situation. Yes, December 23, 2 days before the supposedly most joyful holiday of the year. It was also my first Christmas after ending a 6-year relationship. I don't know about the rest of the guys here, but I'm like a fish out of water whenever I try to go shopping. Anyway, with the long queues and without the shopping acumen of a girlfriend, the holiday shopping took its toll on me. I got so hungry, I went to my go-to place for cake at Greenbelt. Again, 2 days before Christmas, the place was jam-packed. There was no social distancing back then. I was queued up alone for a table. Fortunately, I was first in line and next to me was a group of friends chatting happily about their holiday plans. Rewind to my NBA graduation last March 2008. After the ceremony, I wanted to eat a dinner from a nice restaurant after having heavily budgeted my expenses to pay for my tuition. It was not a good time though, as I have some problems with my family, hence I proceeded to the restaurant alone. When I got there, I pushed the door open, stopped, and very slowly closed the door. Friends, it was March, the typical graduation month. The place was full of people celebrating their graduation with friends, family, loved ones. And that night, I had my toga. As I slowly walked away, a not so small voice berated me. Oh, you poor thing. You pitiful guy. So sad you're alone. Fast forward to December 2019. I was there with my shopping bags, alone, in a brightly lit restaurant. The voice wanted to come back. And I was feeling sad, lonely, weak. Then the waiter came and called the group waiting next to me. Yes, they will be seated ahead even though I was first in line. The voice came back stronger. You see, that's what happens when you're alone. Friends, you know how most restaurants are set up, right? With the long tables and chairs on the side, the smaller ones in the middle. It was a spot for a group that opened up. Understandably, they would have to be seated first. Unfortunately, at that moment, it merely magnified my being alone. As I was about to get up, it called out to me, "Wait, please." When I saw where he was leading me, I nearly doubled back. Remember the usual restaurant setup? Imagine that filled up and in the middle was a vacant table. Well, there's no backing out now, so I sat there, ordered my dinner, and think, I am alone, yes. But I'm not really lonely. I'm only one. Single may be another term, but I'm only one, which means there's no other person in the world like me. One is actually a strong number. You cannot finish a 10, hell, even 100-step process if you do not begin with step 1. A journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. At that moment, The darkness of being alone was replaced by a feeling of enlightenment. I was so enlightened that when the waiter brought me my food, I took out my cell phone and said, Kuya, picture please. Imagine that solo guy getting a remembrance of his moment. Which reminded me of a little silver medal memento from when I first joined an area level humorous speaking contest. Second place. There were two of us, but library, I finally bagged first place. Out of all the clubs and members in our area, I was the only contestant. You see, it's not so bad to be alone. So whether you be sad or happy by yourself is all up to you. It all starts with you. The first person who will believe in you is you. The last person, in fact, only person who will be with you till the end is you. So, develop a good relationship with yourself. Treat yourself. Keep yourself in good condition physically, mentally, emotionally, and of course, spiritually. That way, you become a better version of yourself. They say we cannot give what we do not have. So love yourself. That way, you can love others better, which in turn makes you even more lovable. Improve yourself. That way, you can be in a position to help others. And forgive yourself. You don't owe the world any explanation. As Major Miles from Fort Briggs would put it, we are but small pebbles that create small ripples. But if those small ripples could come together, they can form a tidal wave of change that will wash over this world. Fellow Toastmasters, friends, I invite you to change the world. Waiter, table for one. Contest chair.
Our next contestant,
Ayan.
Yaneza. Will you, Jamie Yaneza?
Hashtag class valedictorian. Hashtag proud mom. Hashtag share forward. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and friends, I just finished clicking on the share button on Facebook. It's a picture of my son and his teacher, Clarice. Will you share a photo on social media if your son graduated top of the class? Let me get this straight. I'm not saying that my son got his intelligence from me, but science does say that 80% of a child's intelligence comes from the mother. My son's achievements do not solely depend on genes. They evolve to the beat of love and sharing forward. Let me explain. You know those people who were sometimes accused of being mere tenants in their very own home before this quarantine happened? Coming home just to sleep or take a bath? I see some guilty faces. I used to be that way too. But when I'd come home late at night and see my son sleeping, when I could not spend weekends at home because of work, and when the only thing I could do when he is sick is to buy him medicine, the only thing this proud mother feels is guilt. Do I have the right to be proud? Have I done enough as a mother? These guilty questions linger at the back of my mind every time my son comes home with an achievement. April 17 last year, my son graduated from grade 6, and after the program, the typical graduation scene unfolded before my eyes. Hugs, pictures, tears. But one particular scene left a dent on me. Jeremy, ma'am, is it okay if I hug your son? It was teacher Clarice, my son's science quiz bee coach. Of course, go ahead, ma'am. Oh, come here, my son. Sorry, ma'am. He's really like my son. Don't forget to visit me, okay? I will miss you. And I just stepped aside and took their picture. Be honest. What do you think did I feel at that moment? What would you feel if you were in that situation? Jealous, anxious, murderous? I look back at the passion and dedication of my son's teacher. She would come to school on Saturdays and holidays just to train my son, even if she had to leave her own baby at home. She would stay extra hours after work to call more materials ready for the next day. She would go beyond her duty as a teacher without extra pay, without expecting anything in return. She was just sharing forward. Then again, it was like watching myself and the work I do. Sure, my son's teacher probably spent more time with him at some point. And I, with my students, clients, sometimes my fellow Toastmasters. Have you ever thought why we feel guilty of being busy in our efforts for others, yet appreciate others when they do the same for our loved ones? Our jobs, careers, or community work are the very opportunities for us to not just share on social media, but do the action ourselves. It's about having hope in humanity that as we share our time to others, other people are also doing the same. And hopefully, our loved ones become the recipients too. Not because we want others to do it in our stead, simply because this is how love, when shared, makes the world evolve. Isn't that what we do in Toastmasters? You deliver a speech, we give you an evaluation. I discuss a good table topic, you give me a commendation. You say 100 times in your speech. We charge you 100 pesos. But we congratulate you for breaking a record. In the name of love and membership dues. In Toastmasters, we pay our dues as we continue doing all these good things in a positive, friendly environment. But in the bigger world, the good things we do are the dues we pay for our stay. So you might be wondering, did I feel jealous, anxious, or murderous towards my son's teacher? I pushed her away and said, "Excuse me, teacher, can I get back my son?" I didn't really do that. I just thanked her. I felt glad and grateful and grace-filled. Before me was a classic example of sharing forward. My son has truly achieved so much, not just because of his intelligence and diligence, not just because I love and support him, but definitely because there were countless other people who were busy sharing a part of themselves to him. Fellow busy bees, let our sharing go beyond a click of a button. Let our sharing be more intentional with every action. Let our sharing be manifested in our everyday lives with the question, will you share it forward? Will you share it forward? Friends, will you? Contest chair.